Hello and welcome to Shouting Over the Static. I'm your host Dylan and I'm joined by Mark,
Hello.
Jack,
Hello.
and Kyaw!
Hola.
Shit, who's Kyaw?
Yeah, this is madness. We're just talking about stuff that's happened over the Christmas break. It's been a while since we actually recorded, but not a while since the show came up. Hashtag pre-planning. Nice.
That's not that hashtag is not trending.
Yeah,
Guarantee you, hashtag pre-planning is not trending.
it's gonna trend.
We should make it trend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New year, new us. Hashtag pre-planning. Everything.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we're going to talk about some stuff that's happened over Christmas. Not really much happened, so it's a bit lacking in news. But you know,
It's kind of
get
like
there.
the last 3 weeks, isn't it? Well, we've been away, sort of gallivanting around doing Christmassy things, and all of our pre-recorded stuff has been going up.
Yeah,
Like 3 things have happened, so we'll talk about those things.
yeah. We'll just be really in depth about stuff that people don't really care about, I imagine. For example,
Yeah.
number one, something that we've already cared about in the past and will continue to care too much about, I imagine, is they're bringing that weird dating nightmare simulator to the PC. Catherine. They've been so there was a. They've already announced that there's like a Catherine remake or Catherine update, Catherine Full Body coming to the PS4, but there's rumours that it's coming to like the classical version, so Catherine Classic, I think they're calling it.
Catherine Beethoven.
Yep. It's exactly the same, except they've all got Beethoven hair.
Ooh.
It's the
I would
only
play
difference. And that's coming to the PC, which means that like a whole new generation of people can really have a terrible time. I say generation, it didn't come out that long ago, but you know what I mean. A whole new group of people.
Yeah, Catherine is weird. It's also weird that the thing that's coming to the PC is Catherine Classic and not just Catherine Full Body or whatever the new version that's coming out is, because that new version's coming out seems to make some quite significant changes to the plot and the story and adds a bunch of stuff into it. So, yeah, it seems odd that the thing they do is bring out the older version.
Well, maybe the newer version will come out as well. They just wanted to make, I don't know, maybe they wanted to make the classic available as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I could actually understand them wanting to do that, but still, it just seems weird to me. But I guess, yeah, maybe it's like we're going to get out classic version on PC, so everyone on PC can see the plot with just 2 Catherines, and then when Full Body comes out, we'll put that on PC as well, and then everyone on PC can see the plot with 3 Catherines.
Is this something that they can give as an update, like a free update?
Maybe, I don't know. That could be it. I mean, that is. If you want to talk about some really wild trends that are happening in the industry at the moment, Japanese developers bringing their games to PC in a way that is actually like kind of robust and legit is definitely one of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, things like all the Yakuza games are coming to PC. Like Yakuza Zero's come out now, and I think they've said that like Kiwami's going to come to Steam or something mad like that. Like it's. Like Nier Automata came to PC. It wasn't a particularly good port of it, but it came out. Things like those new Dragon Quest game came to PC. They're putting Catherine, which is a 7-8-year-old Atlus game, like Atlus puzzle dating sim on PC. So like, yeah, it's cool that for an area of video games that was basically just ignored by Japan for years and years, they're now starting to release some of their more interesting titles on there, and that's cool, I think, personally. So yeah, let's get more shit onto PC. All the Dark Souls games have come to PC now in a way that is like reasonable. They've even re-released the first one with like not fucked graphic settings and other stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. The community had to make some mods, doesn't it? To have it in HD or something, or 60 FPS.
You say had to, they probably would do anyway. Even if it was already in HD and 60 FPS, someone would be like, we made one that's still HD and 60 FPS, but like everything's slightly bluer. I just like
it's the famous blue fix for Dark Souls.
Yeah, exactly.
The original game was too red. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool that they're putting it out. Though also, like, who has played Catherine?
I've sat around while you were playing it.
Yeah, I've seen you play a bunch of it.
I mean, I was there for like almost the entire thing, I think.
Yeah, okay. So, Catherine is a weird game.
Yeah.
It's problematic in some ways and amusing in others. The bit where the woman sends you nudes and you can only watch them if you go and lock yourself in a toilet cubicle is, frankly, genius. But the rest of it is perhaps a bit not good.
I don't know, all that weird stuff about sheep, that's pretty great.
Yeah, all the sheep stuff is good. It's a problematic game.
What sheep stuff?
Like, you go to sleep and you climb weird nightmare mountains and there's sheep. People have turned into sheep, something like that.
So the plot of Catherine, sure, is that there is a succubus in Tokyo, and men across Tokyo are finding themselves having nightmares where when they fall asleep they wake up as a sheep man and they're climbing these block towers, and if they reach the top of the block tower before they wake up, then they wake up, and if they don't reach the top of the block tower before they wake up, then they die. And men are dying across Tokyo.
Oh my God.
And it happens to your character, Vincent. And so he is climbing all these towers, and he's trying to not only climb the towers at night, and then during the day, just hang out at the bar and talk to his friends and try and make friends. And it's got like this weird layer to it where if you make friends with people in the real world and then also at the rest points in the dream world, then you can help them get to the top of the tower and they'll survive longer. But like, if you don't make enough friends, then people just start to die in the dream world and they die in the real world.
Oh my God.
And it's pretty wild. And then also at the same time, he's dealing with the fact that his long-term girlfriend, Catherine with a K, is looking for him to make a commitment. And during that time, suddenly he finds himself in an adulterous relationship with Catherine with a C, who's everything that his long-term girlfriend isn't, and he has to try and choose between the two.
Wow, okay.
That was an excellent synopsis.
I think I want to play this game.
It's anime as fuck.
It really
And
is.
the puzzle bits in it are quite hard. There's a point later on, about the 2/3 of the way through the game, where the block climbing puzzles actually get quite tricky in a way that was almost frustrating. It might be a game that's worth, like, if you pick it up cheap on Steam and smash through it on, like, easy. The dating sim stuff, it's an Atlus game. And, like, so Atlus did, like, the Persona games. And so, like, it's been localized by that team. So the dating sim stuff and the way that you, like, walk around the bar and talk to people, and even down to weird things where, like, if you speak to the bartender and buy a drink, he will tell you a large number of facts about that drink, and then if you drink the drink, you get like a bonus during the nighttime world. So it's like, if you want, you can spend your time like learning about the history of the Cuba Libre, and it will give you a bonus. But then also you won't have used that time talking to like the fat guy who's having trouble with his missus, and all this other stuff. The bar stuff is really charming in a way that is quite interesting. I mentioned off the air that game does also have some problems later on with one of its female characters, who it like the dead names in a way that's really not cool and kind of a bummer, because it is quite an interesting game in the way like it portrays relationships, and like Vincent is a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really shy away from being like, Vincent is a huge piece of shit, and this entire thing, no matter what choice you make, he's always going to end up like cheating on his girlfriend at least once.
Oh.
And like that's it. It's good about that, but then it does some stuff with gender politics and like dead naming a character who transitioned to become a female near the end. That's like not really that cool, and it's actually just kind of a bummer. I don't know. I will probably at least consider picking up Full Body and seeing what adding a third Catherine to the mix does. I want to know what they do to the story by adding in another dateable character for sure.
Catherine with a Y. Yathryn.
I think she's Catherine, but she's known as Rin.
Okay.
I think is how I just read. Yeah, and I think she is spelt differently again. I feel like it was Catherine with a Y, but she's known as Rin. But I could be getting that wrong.
I can't really think of many other ways to spell Catherine, to be fair.
Yeah. I don't know.
Was there...
Yeah.
Is Catherine is the bartender in Catherine the one that's like a little bit suspicious, or is that a different anime
Yeah, he's
game?
he is a little bit suspicious.
There's definitely something strange going on.
They justify his suspicious nature.
Oh, they do, don't they?
At the end of that game, yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Actually, he is, turns out, a pretty key dude who is important to some of the shit going on with the succubus in town. He's a good dude.
So
that was a pretty great game.
Is the succubus also Catherine?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna. It's so obvious. The Catherine with a C, the blonde Catherine who turns up and makes you swoon and sweeps you off your feet and causes you to be adulterous and like unable to commit to your girlfriend. She is the succubus.
Okay. That would have been a spoiler, I guess. Yeah.
It's not. I think it's fairly obvious, like straight away.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious from kind of the beginning because there's a bunch of weird stuff that happens with her, and she just like appears in your bedroom and shit.
And like in a few of the nightmares, she's like in it in a real big way, right?
Yeah. It's a weird game, for sure. There aren't really many games that try to blend that stuff together. And if it's coming to PC, it's probably worth... Because that's the other thing about developers bringing their older but still significant games to PC and putting them on Steam, is they put them on at quite a generous price point.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So, like, I think Yakuza 0, when it was released on Steam, was like 20 quid or something, which is just a great price to pay for Yakuza 0, because that game's fucking great.
Yeah. You were going on about that before it was even out on PC, weren't you?
Yeah, I got it on the PS4 when it came out, because I was like, this game looks cool. And that game is cool. It's very cool. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's pretty Japanese as well.
We are big fans of Japanese stuff here.
Yeah, for sure. I need to learn how to remove my shirt and suit jacket in one single arm movement like they do in Yakuza, because it just seems like the coolest thing to do. Like, before all the major fights, every main character rips off their shirt and suit jacket in one, like, anime arm movement to reveal their massive back tattoos, and then they beat each other up. It's fucking great.
It's my one goal in life.
It sounds
do
possible, right? Like, you unbutton
think
the shirt and then you pull off everything.
That's not one arm movement.
Oh.
You unbuttoned the shirt. That's several arm movements.
Oh, shit, okay. Maybe it's already unbuttoned, like in a stylish way, you know?
Never unbutton your shirt. And never button your shirt. Even.
No, I mean, they do all tend to have their shirts unbuttoned down to, like, below their sternum.
Nice.
To show off their rippling pectorals.
That's too much.
You gotta do it. Gotta do what you gotta do.
I think maybe it could be possible if you were strong enough that as you ripped off the chest piece, you actually tore the shoulders, and then like the sleeves just kind of fell off. Maybe.
You'd have to be very strong.
Yeah, you would.
I don't know.
We're really strong.
There's that scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Terry explodes a puffer jacket.
Oh yeah, that is good.
You could just do that with a suit.
Just like flex so hard that you explode out of your well-fitted suit.
Yeah,
I could see it happening.
Or your arm cast from Fast and Furious, if you remember, The Rock doing that. Oh.
Daddy's got to go to work.
Oh man, what a moment!
Media is ridiculous. All media.
All of it.
I bet there's a podcast somewhere where something like that happened.
Hey?
What? Where someone exploded out of a shirt?
Yeah,
and
then described it. Like, I don't know, Night Vale probably did something weird like that.
Oh yeah, almost certainly. That is a good point. I forgot about Night Vale. Never forget about Night Vale.
You can't forget about Night Vale.
Oh, Night Vale is really good.
You can, however, forget about the dog park.
What dog park?
Precisely.
Hot Night Vale references over here.
Yeah. Anybody who's
Watch
not
out.
listened to any Night Vale at all will be very confused.
Oh, I am. I only listened to, I think, the first episode.
Then you
That's
should know the
nothing.
dog park. That's like the entire thing of the first episode.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
well,
that's how they.
clearly don't
I think
remember.
that's how they start. The like obelisk appears in the dog park. I think that's episode 1. Oh wait, no, the glow cloud is episode 1. I don't know.
Yeah, I think episode 1's about the strange cloud.
Yeah, I haven't
So-
listened to
it's
Night
a
Vale in
very,
a while.
very strange but entertaining audio amusement.
We definitely can't just review Night Vale on this podcast.
Maybe we should though. Maybe we should start a podcast where every has Night Vale finished yet? It hasn't, right?
No, it's still ongoing.
Every episode of Night Vale we review, and then hopefully eventually we catch up with Night Vale, and then just weekly their episode comes out, and then the next day we just have a chat about their episode.
A Night Vale re-listen podcast.
Yeah, listen along with us.
So Night Vale Let's Listen?
Ah,
No.
Is that
this is our
listen
unique
to.
selling point.
Right, delete all of this. We can't broadcast this.
Let's listen.
left?
I need you to put all of this audio on a thumb drive, and I need you to post it to me. And that makes it copyrighted, right?
Hand deliver.
Definitely. Just write it down somewhere. Put it in a note. A dated note. It'll be fine. Right, maybe we should get back to games. Since that's like meant to be what we're about.
So, how much do you think that a Mr. Claus, a Mrs. Claus, a Mr. Claus outfit and a Mrs. Claus outfit, and also a camp decoration and some player icons cost during the Fallout 76 Christmas sale on the Atomic Shop?
Ooh,
That
well,
is 2 outfits, a camp
Oh.
decoration, and some player icons.
you already told us about. Can we do it? Can we do it? Price is Right style. Closest,
Yeah, sure.
closest without going over wins. You already told us how much the sign cost, right? So we know the sign cost £14 alone. Oh, okay. Let's have a think. Sure. What do you think?
Oh, I'm gonna go with.
This is a different sign, actually.
Oh, a different sign.
Oh,
Yeah, this is a different sign. The other sign is like a red rocket. This sign looks to be a reindeer.
okay.
Ooh.
So
Reindeers are worth less than rockets.
signs. what are signs in this game? Is it like a board?
It's just a
So
decoration.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in obviously Fallout 76, you're building a camp, and this looks to be like a 3D reindeer that you can place around your camp.
Gotcha. Okay. Wait. So am I guessing costumes plus sign or?
The whole thing, the whole
The
bundle.
whole
It's called the
shebang.
Come Into Town bundle.
Oof. Oh, 25.
Ooh.
Okay, Shaw goes for
that's
25.
I think that's a bit on the low side. I think the way that I guess just from all of the shit that Fallout 76 has gotten, I feel as if it would be like a ridiculous price point. I reckon maybe like more towards the 50 quid mark.
Oh, that's
Oh my
high.
God.
That's
That's like a whole game.
a
Like, I
lofty
just-
price.
I don't know. I just have that feeling that they come over like that.
I could see that. To be fair, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
35.
Ooh. Okay. You guys think very poorly of Bethesda.
What is it?
It's 20 quid.
Oh,
Ah,
Okay, so we all failed. We all went over.
yeah.
But also, that is a lot. Considering you get a sign for 14 quid, you get this bundle is 20 quid, though it does have a discount down to £16.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my.
not bad.
So how's that? And this is all coming from a Eurogamer article, by the way. So I haven't run this atom to pound conversion. So this could all be could all be wrong.
That's the crucial.
But then finally, they've got a pack of 12 Christmas emotes that they are valuing at £16.
Fuck. Imagine paying £16 for emotion.
Wait, I can get that for free.
I just scream in my house. That costs money, I guess, the house, but I can scream outside for free.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Homeless people
But,
scream.
like, so the comparison they have here, which I think is a pretty worthy comparison, is 2 costumes, 2 emotes, and a new statue. Well, that's they want to charge you £20 for that, and you go, well, that is quite a lot.
Yeah.
But you do get some stuff. Within the first week of Fallout 76's release, the game was worth £40.
Yeah.
That's half the price of the game, effectively. And they go, yeah, 2 Santa outfits and some emotes and a reindeer, 20 quid. The Atom store is mental. It was problematic. Considering the 500 atoms they gave you because they lied to you about the canvas bag, wouldn't even buy you the postman outfit with the canvas bag. Like, they are struggling.
How much
with
is the Santa
atom
Claus?
inflation in there.
The Santa Claus bundle in atoms?
It's discounted from 3,000 atoms to 2,000 atoms.
That's not bad. Okay. So can you earn atoms in game then, like by grinding or something?
I don't think you can.
Yeah, I think it's like
atoms
Destiny
are-
Silver. It's like you have to
Yeah.
buy it.
Oh,
They're
imagine you might be
exclusively
able
their
to,
paid
but-
currency.
I imagine you would probably be able to, but maybe at like very small quantities.
No, there's usually. I think these microtransaction things, you can often get the items you can buy in like random ways,
Yeah.
but the money to
Okay.
buy the stuff they tend to not let you, right?
So you can.
Hmm.
Oh man. Oh. I'm getting ad blocked. Hold on.
Oh, right, okay. Are you on WindowsCentral.com?
No, I'm on
Okay.
usgamer.net about how to earn atoms fast. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
you can earn atoms in game at about. So you get 10 atoms for leveling up.
Okay.
For exploring Appalachia for an hour, you get 20 atoms. If you craft a weapon, you get 20 atoms. I think these might be single-use challenges as well, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Like you can
These don't look like the kind of... Well, level up, I reckon, is probably 10 atoms at a pop, but...
kill an enemy 10 atoms. I don't think you get 10 atoms for every enemy killed. So
No,
Yeah.
because that would knacker their economy on the other side. It would. Yeah, I'm going to guess that you don't earn atoms at a particularly fast rate in game.
Yeah.
Definitely not at a rate that means you can afford 2,000 atoms for a Santa costume.
Oh, supposedly this guy, he said just by playing through a couple of beta sessions, I don't know what that means, BETA with dots in between, and several hours.
That's what they called their
Okay.
beta.
Okay.
Yeah.
And several hours of the game after launch, he earned 1,210 atoms without
Yeah, but that's
So what?
without actively trying to complete any challenges. So that's not
But-
so bad.
What does several hours mean? It's like he played through several beta sessions and played the game for several hours. That could be like 40 hours of playing the game.
I say it's less than 10. I wouldn't
So
call
it's less than
several
10.
hours more than 10. Yeah.
But also, you probably get a bunch of atoms from doing the beta stuff, right? Because you're doing the beta.
Yeah. I
They
don't know.
probably give you more anyway. It's all seems a bit ridiculous, doesn't it? But I mean, that's what these sort of games are getting their money from, isn't it? And it's just aesthetic stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess so.
I don't know if there's any sort of pay to win elements to the Atom store.
I don't know. I think it is all just cosmetics.
Yeah, so it's not too bad,
Yeah,
is
it
it?
is.
Because like, if you're gonna pay 20 quid for cosmetics, then you can't complain because you.
You're your own worst enemy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
You
all for
deserve to
that.
be poor.
Cosmetics only microtransactions is
Yeah,
good. It's fine.
but that is quite pricey.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I want to
I
know
don't
what's
know.
going to happen with. This is something that I think actually did come out over the break we were coming on, and is related. There was this whole stuff about Fortnite and the Carlton dance.
Yes.
Oh
Yes, I
yeah,
know.
and like 2 Milli Rock and the Backpack Kid
yeah,
and
the Backpack Kid as well.
And like obviously the only reason anybody's doing this is because it's Fortnite and they make a fuck ton. But all of these games that have emotes do this. Like Destiny had the Carlton dance before Fortnite did, and he doesn't give a shit.
yeah, it's very true. Many games have had the Carlton dance.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's a good dance.
It is a great dance.
There's a reason that Carlton borrowed it from that Bruce Springsteen video. It's a good dance. I don't mean to be throwing shade there. I'm on the side of everyone trying to get their piece out of Fortnite. Fortnite is, you're right, many other games have done it, but Fortnite is the first game to come out, be free to play, and make. Well, that's a story we can talk about. Epic Games have banked a $3 billion profit in 2018.
Fuck me.
They've made $3 billion off selling people the Carlton dance. So you can sort of start to see how maybe some of these creators want a piece.
It's also in Fortnite you can explicitly buy the dances, whereas in all the other ones, so like, obviously my experience with this sort of stuff is mostly just Destiny, but I think this is similar for the other ones too, like Overwatch, right? You buy loot packs and then you get it random.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of different. You're not explicitly buying the Carlton dance, so it's a lot harder to argue they made this much money from my dance.
Yeah.
Whereas in Fortnite, you can just be like, look, they sold... Although the Carlton dance comes free, doesn't it? But with other dances, you can be explicitly like, look, this dance sold this much for this much money.
Yeah.
At least a little bit of it should be mine.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier, I guess.
But it's not like it's a dance that's patented. Can you patent dances?
I think
No.
this is what you can not patent, but you can, I don't know what the term would be, copyright, trademark, a routine.
Yeah.
But
like a full piece of choreography.
Yeah.
but you can't do it for obviously a specific move. So
Yeah. And you can't obviously retrospectively do it either, because that's what.
well, I mean, you have to retrospectively do it because you have to do it before you trademarked it.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Move on past that.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, no, it's I think there is an interesting argument to be made about this idea that plenty of other games have used these dances. Why aren't they suing them? But also, I think the counter is, well, those games haven't made like it's an order of magnitude more money.
Yeah. No, of course. But I think this is where I think they'll probably fall down. And the only reason I know this stuff is because I don't know if you guys have ever watched any sort of Vlogbrothers stuff.
No.
But they've got this whole the nerd fighters and like DFTBA. This is all their sort of stuff. This came from their YouTube community back in the day, and I can't remember how long ago, but a few years ago, lots of companies started putting like DFTBA on things and like quite clearly nerd fighter related things. Like there's a whole stuff about llamas and giraffes and all this kind of weird shit. And they were like clearly using this branding. And the Vlogbrothers explicitly didn't do anything because if you fight one person over your trademark or your copyrighted stuff, you have to fight everybody.
Yeah.
So they didn't do it so that they could let the like community still make stuff, because otherwise they'd have to be going on Etsy and being like, you can't make DFTBA stuff, and that's kind of completely against their thing. So
on the flip side of that is also the reason that Nintendo fights
all those
every
Pokemon
single
things.
emulator, Pokemon knockoff, ROM site everywhere all the time, constantly, because they want to keep their branding intact.
Exactly, yeah. Because otherwise anybody could make a Pokemon game because it's like, well, you're letting this person, so why won't you let this person?
Yeah, it's about precedent, isn't it? Is the idea.
Exactly, yeah. And then in those cases, it's not even about money, right? Because these ROMs and stuff are free. So I think, while I agree with you on the fact that it's like, it's Fortnite that's making the money, it's also a case of you've not fought this copyright anywhere else. So it's sort of like, why have you let these other people go? And I think that's probably where they'll fall down and where Fortnite will win.
Yeah.
I wonder if there is an argument that can be made about what is effectively becoming cultural appropriation. That's the argument that like even Chance the Rapper is making, as he's out there on Twitter like trying to organise these people together and being like, we need to do something about this because it's Epic is exposing an entire generation of like 10-year-olds effectively to significant parts of modern black culture through like musical culture and dance culture and not crediting any of it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the argument I think Chance the Rapper's making, which is like, if you're going to rip off our shit and not even credit us and not let the people who are now out there in the playgrounds just flossing like maniacs constantly, if you're going to not even like credit us for that, at least fucking pay us for ripping off our shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, that might be a different edge to it, but yeah, the copyright one's really fucking hard because, as I sort of alluded to as well, like there's a good argument to be made that what's his chops? I actually forget his name.
Alfonso Ribeiro.
Alfonso Ribeiro doesn't even actually really own the Carlton dance, considering it's a sort of amalgamation and a modification of some other dances that he did for a TV show that he doesn't own.
Yeah. But I think
like if anyone owns that dance, it's whoever produced The Fresh Prince, Paramount or something.
I think a big part of it though is, from what I've seen, is that there's elements of like, so that dance is to It's Not Unusual, and in Fortnite the song is clearly a rip off of that. Like they're clearly going for the same sound, and then this guy's been like, think how long in his life he's been turning up places and they're like, do the Carlton dance for us. That's what you're known for, do the Carlton dance. So it's kind of like he's had to put up with this shit for years, and now Fortnite are the ones making money off of it. I think it's such a tricky situation. And I think most people would probably agree, right, that these people deserve their money.
Yeah, for 100%.
But I think it's just,
or at least they deserve to have their dances like credited well.
Yeah.
You know, like at least put these people's names out there. At least make it so that when these kids are out there on the playground, and having been doing some educational outreach work recently through work, I can tell you with certainty that playgrounds are full of 12-year-old boys flossing constantly.
Yeah.
I can tell you that with certainty.
Yeah.
So, like, at least make it so that those people are not. They are doing what they're doing with the knowledge that what they are doing comes from this type of music, these type of artists. Because, like, you could at least put something back into the community that you're wholesale ripping dance moves off from by giving them a new audience.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird one. It's tough. It's tough because I think Kotaku did a list that was like, here are all the games that have used the Carlton dance. And it starts with Fortnite and then just goes on and on and on.
I mean, I'm still just taken aback by $3 billion, which is just insane for, I guess, I still remember us talking about it when we were on the radio at uni, and we were all talking about
when they announced it.
Yeah, when Fortnite was announced, we were like, oh, look at this, man. This is like some zombie tower defense building game. And now it's just blown out of proportion with Battle Royale. And the fact that they made $3 billion in 2018 it's just mind-blowing.
It is pretty incredible.
That's so much money.
Is that just Fortnite or just Epic as a whole company?
So it's Epic who's posted that, but bearing in mind the other games that Epic makes, they've actually like scuppered this year. Like Paragon got shut down.
Yeah.
They've changed the status of Unreal Tournament to like no longer in development.
Yeah. They're focused entirely on Fortnite. And that's a free game. They made $3 billion off of a free game.
They've got a new store, right? Steam rival.
But that came out right at the end.
It is true, yeah. I mean, that's not generating most of the profits. It's just
also,
Fortnite.
I think where a lot of the profit... I think this got seen a lot around Christmas, and there was lots of posts on Reddit about it, which I think is very shady. You can buy like the Fortnite physical copies in store, and so you'll get a disc that you can install Fortnite off of, even though it's free, and like a bunch of V-Bucks and maybe an outfit or whatever. But they advertise it as the full game plus these V-Bucks for a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And you don't get the full game. You get the Battle Royale. You don't get the Fortnite save the world part of it.
That's the paid part, right?
That's the bit that costs money, yeah. That's the bit you have to buy. And
that no one's playing.
That no one plays, yeah. And
that is quite
but they
shitty.
still advertise it as full game, and then like with the additional DLC content, which they say is like, so they say it as DLC or whatever, and it is just a certain amount of V-Bucks.
That's how they get the uninformed parents, I guess.
Yeah, because their kids say they want Fortnite, and the parents who don't, like, the kids don't really know how, like, the really little kids at least don't really know how it all works, and the parents don't know that it's just a free download online.
Yeah.
So over Christmas, Katie's little brother got her littlest brother for Christmas, like 20 quid in Xbox Live, like, store credit.
Yeah.
And sort of as it was handed over, and then it was sort of opened up, and Katie's dad was like, "Oh, what'd you get?" He said, "Oh, this." And his immediate response, and had me chuckling on the other side of the room, was, "Don't spend it all on stupid costumes for Fortnite."
Brilliant.
That's a good piece of advice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great piece of advice, but so fucking funny.
The fact that was like the first thing that came to his head.
Yeah, just immediately he was like, "Don't," because I think this is not the first time that he has got Xbox Live store credit, and it has immediately just gone into like, well, I'm buying the Mayor of Tomato Town costume or whatever the fuck it is.
It is only cosmetic items you can buy in Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a battle pass I think you can spend money on, and then as you level up, like in Dota, you can get stuff for putting money in and leveling up and stuff. You've got the battle pass going.
Yeah. Okay.
And that gives you stuff like costumes that you can only get by leveling up. So like the John Wick costume and stuff. You had to completely level out your battle pass.
That's another thing that I think they've ripped off without crediting, right? Because it's not a licensed John Wick costume, I don't think.
No, it's just a guy in a suit, isn't it? They don't call it John Wick, I don't think.
Because in Payday 2, it is actually the John Wick costume.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff in Fortnite seems to be just a bit ripped off.
Oh, it's all like pop culture, the game.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, it is.
Do you want to know something really surprising that I like to look up every now and then? So you know how obviously Fortnite has taken over the world and it left PUBG in the dust?
Yeah.
Yeah.
PUBG is still the top played game on Steam every day.
Oh, really?
Its current players is 788,000, which is 230,000 more than the next current top played game, which is Dota.
Damn.
Its peak today. Its peak today was over 1 million players.
Fucking hell.
Something that people, I think, gets kind of forgotten because Fortnite is so huge and making so much money, is that, and like PUBG obviously has like a bunch of its own problems, but PUBG is still the biggest game on Steam.
It probably is. Fortnite is still like a magnitude bigger than that, right? It's just
totally.
different
Fortnite is
platforms,
because
so
also
you
like
know.
Fortnite has like robust console players and that kind of thing. But yeah.
And you can play it literally fucking anywhere.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
But yeah,
It's on like every single device. Fucking hell.
But yeah, it is worth noting, I think, that PUBG is still the biggest game on Steam,
That's impressive.
which is nuts to me.
Yeah, because nobody ever talks about PUBG.
I haven't played PUBG in a while. PUBG's pretty good. They've got that new map.
PUBG's not free though, is it? That's like a full price game, right?
Yeah.
It's like 18 quid or something.
Oh,
26 quid maybe. I think it was 26 quid, and then they've finally started bringing it down to like 18 quid in sales or something.
Okay, so that's not bad.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't know. I think it's a cool game, and they've got that new map that I haven't actually played any of. Whatever the hell it's called, Vladivostok. It's not called that. That's actually a place, but yeah. Sorry, yeah, I think it is worth noting. I always have to remind myself whenever I'm reading about how Fortnite's taken over the world and no one talks about PUBG anymore, that PUBG is still
relevant,
phenomenally popular.
I think that's a big indicator of like the split between sort of, I don't want to say gamers and non-gamers, because I think people playing these sort of games are still gamers, but like there's that culture of gaming on the internet, right? And then everybody else who still plays games.
Yeah.
Because back in the day when sort of gamers were vilified and whatever, like people were still playing Call of Duty and FIFA and all that stuff. It's just you still had, oh, you're a gamer. And I think that culture kind of still exists, right? Except more people think that, like, more people consider themselves as a gamer now, but not in the bad way. And I think that this is kind of evidence of that split, I think. There's the people who would use Steam and play PUBG and that kind of stuff. And then there's just like everybody else who will still play games because games are the most like successful media enterprise out there at the moment. And so everybody's doing it. And I think there's like clearly an evident separation.
Do you guys want to get into
two.
Fortnite?
I mean,
Maybe we should.
I got it
It's become
installed
part of
on
the
my
problem.
computer, you know.
We should make it like one of our games.
Let's play Fortnite for a month. Let's get good at Fortnite.
God, I don't think I could. I played it for like a week and then just stopped. I never had the urge to get back to it.
Yeah.
Although that was when my Xbox started breaking, so I think that might be why I stopped playing.
So what you're telling me is that Fortnite killed your Xbox?
Basically, yeah. I think it was actually... So it was definitely coincidental and when I moved, but it was... the first time it broke was after we played the old Brave game. You know, the Disney Pixar film Brave.
What?
Oh, wow,
They
okay.
have a game, okay.
It was free. It was one of the games with gold. And we played that a bunch.
Of course.
And then it started breaking. So I think it was actually Disney.
Disney broke your Xbox.
Exactly.
Fuck Disney. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
Man, we're
I'm
not
still
going
going to watch their movies, though.
God
It's
damn it.
impossible not to.
This is true.
Speaking of Disney movies, this is the best segue you'll ever experience.
Because I know exactly what you're about to say, and it's just a complete fucking lie. That's why it's going to be such a good segue. Go on.
I don't know if you do. Maybe you do. That would be impressive. Speaking of Disney movies, have you seen the Easter egg in Hitman?
What?
Oh, no. I thought this is not what I thought you were going to say at all. I thought you were going to start. I thought you were going to talk about that Spider-Man shit.
Oh, that would have been
No.
that would have been a good segue too, but this one's way better.
No. What's the Hitman 2 Easter egg?
So there's loads of weird Hitman 2 Easter eggs, and
Yeah, they've been doing that for years.
At the end of I think it's the Miami level,
Yeah.
you can shoot into the forest, woods, jungle over the side of a river and hit an umbrella, and it'll fall into the river, and then pop up out of the river next to you. And if you pick it, it'll let you fit. Like it's a way to finish the level, and you'll fly off like Mary Poppins.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my.
that's incredible. Hitman 2 is really good, guys. Shit,
I'd be
Hitman 2
told.
is phenomenal.
You could also
You're-
get a flamingo costume and fly away as a flamingo.
Yeah, the flamingo costume is legit. I back the flamingo costume.
Talk about Disney segue for you there.
That was
That's
just
so
mad,
good.
unexpected. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I was so excited about it. I think my microphone's too
Yeah,
low.
those Hitman games have always had weird Easter eggs. There was an Easter egg. There was a couple of Easter eggs in Blood Money. There was one that was like, if you collected a hidden security card and went into this one locked room, and you like shot through a hole in the wall and then peeked through another hole in the wall, you could see like a family of mice like dancing.
That's
It's like
intense.
something like that. Yeah, it's just like all sorts of weird shit like that. So, that's cool. I'm gonna have to escape the level like Mary Poppins. That's legit.
Speaking of other film, video game tie-ins, oh yeah, you've already told this segue, so it doesn't work.
Sorry, mate.
It's fine. I wasn't planning that in the first place. this is the one I've got down on my list as I hate the community, all in capitals.
Should we make this our last story, by the way? Because I got some things to do today.
Yeah, we're getting.
Just throwing it out there. Yeah.
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Shall I? I'll just go for it.
No, go for it. It's just I'm just saying probably this bit of the last.
So there's people have been supposedly, according to you, Mark, at least, and I'm just going to trust you on this. People were sending death threats and stuff to the community managers of the Insomniac Spider-Man game.
Yep.
Because they hadn't included the Raimi Spider-Man suit yet. The sort of, I mean, it's very recognizable if you've ever seen it. And so now they've finally brought it out, right? They've brought it out, was it around Christmas Day? It was like the beginning of December, right?
Yeah, it was like mid-December, I think it came out.
Yeah. And so obviously, I don't know if they caved in or if they must have already been planning it, because I think it takes a while to make these kind of things. But just the fact that, I don't know, anybody thinks that they have the right to send death threats because a costume isn't included in a game is just, it's just the most outrageous thing.
The community manager is a guy called James Stevenson, who, by all accounts, appears to be quite a good dude. But he was getting a lot of... he ended up having to take a bit of a break from Twitter because people were just being total fucking shitbags to him in a way that's, not cool, honestly. But, it was things like people tweeting at Insomniac saying, "Come on, Insomniac, you said you were listening," in, the most expectant way, which is just totally unreasonable. That's not how you go around getting things. And Insomniac, to their credit, have kept a pretty level head throughout the whole thing, saying listening doesn't mean we'll always do what people tell us to do. We hear you. Hearing doesn't mean we'll always act or follow. But it was all words to that kind of effect in a way that is just... I don't know. I don't understand why people feel that they are owed anything. They were given what is, by all accounts, my understanding, is a really, really, really good game. Why they feel like it's appropriate to then, be so awful about it, is just unreasonable.
I think. You see it as well if you go into basically any video game subreddit, right?
Yeah.
You get people sort of demand all these different changes, and I think if you ever go into the comments, you see that actually it's quite unreasonable, and people don't really... The people who are sort of around a lot and actually contribute aren't ever, I think, really as expecting and demanding, but the people who come in just to post I think you need to change this and give us an extra this or that or whatever. And it's you can't just constantly demand all these changes, because I think it's sort of this dangerous element that you see in video games nowadays of people are constantly demanding these certain things. And some video game companies, I think, do bow to the pressure, and they just make these changes that are definitely not for the best. They definitely shouldn't have done it. But people think they know better than the games company themselves.
Yeah, just people feel like they're owed...
Yeah, it's
something.
I think there is a difference though, because for something like a single-player story game, the changes are really just dependent on what the developers want as their own product, right? If they have a vision, they should stick to that. But for multiplayer games, they should listen to the community and what they want. So I think there's a balance that you have to achieve here.
I think there's a problem with that too, right? There's certain elements where you should listen to the community about what you want, but you do get lots of the time people asking for really ridiculous things in multiplayer games. I can't remember. There was a lot of it with Titanfall. There was a lot of people asking for really weird changes to the mechanics and stuff that would just completely change the game. And it's well, why are you asking? It was basically along the lines of, you don't want to be playing Titanfall, just play a different game. And so it's kind of...
Are we the most entitled bunch of people? Gamers? Us gamers?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. definitely.
I don't know.
No doubt to it.
I think it's just something you don't... Because gaming is built around community a lot more than a lot of other things, at least on the internet. I think it's something that changes a lot. It's a lot easier to see the entitlement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I think you probably get it everywhere else, but it's just a lot harder to complain. Like, it's a lot harder for if a movie comes out, like you see a good independent movie, but you're like, oh, I really wish the ending had been slightly different. I think it's a lot harder to demand.
Should have put the Sam Raimi Spider-Man suit in that independent movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot harder to demand these changes in films than games.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a shame because I think it reflects badly on everyone that people think that's an appropriate thing to do. That people think that's an appropriate behaviour to have, and it's just a bummer.
Yeah.
And like the thing about it that's hilarious as well is like all the people out there who were the worst offenders now saying, well, the suit's in Spider-Man, so we won. And you're going, no, when you started being a prick to James Stevenson at the beginning of December, and then the suit appeared 2 weeks later, that wasn't them scrabbling. The fucking the artists at Insomniac could not make the 3D model that animates well for that suit in 2 weeks.
Yeah. People
People who think they've somehow won, that it's like, that's not how these things work. You couldn't have got Sony Pictures. Oh, it is a bit easier because it is a Sony game, but you still couldn't have got Sony Pictures to sign off on that game suit being in the game in 2 weeks.
No.
It's people think they're so entitled, and it's Well, here we go. So the thing that their community manager posted on Twitter, sort of at the end of all this, was passionate is not an excuse for harassment. Having paid for a piece of software or service does not entitle you to be a jerk. You are not always right. You need to know that things take a long time, sometimes months and months, and even then go down to the literal wire. We obviously never stopped listening. And it's just like, yeah, people need to know. It's just like, you're not entitled to anything.
Yeah.
Like, things take time. People need to stop being assholes. Yeah, I don't know.
They should delete the game.
Yeah, delete the whole thing. Well, like I said, they should have had it so that they showed everyone like, oh, look, we've made this suit. You don't get it. You guys were assholes.
Yeah.
You don't get the Sam Raimi suit.
But that would be like a suicide in terms of community engagement, right?
It's a single player game.
True. Still.
Yeah. I don't know. I know they would never actually have done that,
No.
but I hate that people think that that's just an okay way to behave. It's just shocking. It's absolutely shocking. We don't deserve Spider-Man. None of us deserve Peter Parker.
I'm just hoping that they put in. Have you seen like Into the Spider-Verse? I want more Into the Spider-Verse outfits in the new Spider-Man. And if they don't put it in there, I'm gonna kill someone.
I want Nick Cage in Spider-Man.
I do want Spider-Man Noir. Ooh.
Oh, and I just want Nicolas Cage in it.
Oh, just Nicolas Cage, not even.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage dressed like Superman for some reason.
With the long hair and everything.
With the long hair and everything. Oh, right.
That was our
Do we have
last
anything else to
story.
talk about?
Oh, well, you wanted to finish. I could just.
I know. But I meant about Spider-Man.
Oh no, I've got nothing left to say about Spider-Man.
People are assholes. No one deserves video games.
Yeah, this is it. We're cancelling video games. They're done. Next week's show is going to be about Piers Morgan hating sausage rolls.
Hating vegans in general. Have you followed all of the post sausage roll Piers Morgan vegan dramas?
Not even a little bit. He
I
said
didn't
something
even know.
about veganuary and I left it.
McDonald's came out being like, yo, for 2019, vegetarian Happy Meal. And Piers Morgan's was like, oh, it's meant to be called a Happy Meal. So then Pizza Hut came out being like, yo, we've got this new vegan pizza.
Tag Piers
At
Morgan.
Piers Morgan, come at us.
TGI Fridays did it as well.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so good.
that's wonderful. Right, okay. Good way to end our game podcast. I love
Fuck Piers Morgan, the man is a cunt.
it. Yep, there you go.
The man is a sycophant who has only found a way to be popular by being rude for his entire career. And fuck that dude. I'd be happy if he never ever made another pound again and he'd still be richer than I'll ever be. The dude's a dickhead.
Is this how we get sued?
No, because there's no one listens to this, George. It's okay. Also, you can't sue me for telling the truth.
Yeah.
It's not defamation if it's an honest opinion of a man.
Yeah, I've seen things said about him in a bad way on live TV. This is fine. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I mean, Harry Hill pied him on TV, didn't he?
good. I hope the pie had knives and hepatitis in it.
Oh no.
That might be suable.
Yeah,
Intent.
possibly. All right.
Right. Okay. Oh wait, I've got to finish up. I nearly just said bye. Right, you can find us on. I was about to say Instagram.
I
Big
mean,
daily, mate.
You can't even find us on Instagram because our social media manager hasn't actually been on the show until now for like 2 months.
yes. Sorry about that.
You can find us on iTunes and SoundCloud at Shouting Over the Static, and you can find us on YouTube at Low Expectations Media, and I think they're just on there under Shouting Over the Static. That's it, I think. That's been us for today.
Winner.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.